back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida, anywhere else I
You know what I'm saying? That's live too right now.
Yeah, it's live. That's when they say live up top.
Buzzbuster is back again. Plenty of rappers had already weighed in on the ICEMAN album before Drake finally made a move of his own. Instead of a direct statement, he answered in a way that felt carefully planned. While traveling to the first performance connected to ICEMAN, he appeared alongside Ben the Don, making it clear who was still in his circle. The message came through without needing much explanation. He was standing beside the people who stayed solid with him. Not long after, a viral post started spreading online. It claimed Drake had spoken out for the first time since ICEMAN and was fully backing the message in the album's lyrics. According to that reaction, he was calling out everyone who crossed him during the Kendrick situation and warning people to stay on the side they already picked.
Put the Batman ears on you. What is them?
Is this still Instagram Live? Does it still exist?
50,000 people in there.
No way, for real.
The Batman ears.
It still exists. Instagram Live.
What you mean?
You know what I'm saying? That's live too right now.
Yeah, it's live. That's when they say live up top, that means it's actually.
So let's both throw. Come on,
You got this
Whether fans agreed or not, the timing made the whole thing feel intentional. That is where it gets even more interesting. Drake did not roll this out in a random way. He moved with precision. Just 1 hour after that performance, a brand new Nike commercial was released. On the surface, it looked like a big sports promo. Kevin Durant appeared in the ad, showing off the new KD 19 shoes in a playful skit that also featured Drake. It was light, funny, and polished, but for people who follow every detail, it seemed to say much more than that. There is extra weight behind that moment because Drake had done this kind of commercial work before with LeBron James. Now the spotlight had shifted. First came the apparent jab on ICEMAN, and then came the Nike ad with Kevin Durant instead. For fans watching closely, that switch did not look accidental at all. It felt like another calculated signal in a much larger storyline.
People ask me how I'm feeling. I'm gonna let you know how I'm feeling. And listen, the way I'm feeling is the same way I want you to walk out of here feeling about yourself. Because you know how I'm feeling? I got my head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida, anywhere else I go. And I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever me in my life. And that's how I want you to walk out of here tonight. Sometimes you gotta acknowledge the mistakes that you made in the past, right? Right?
Suddenly, a sneaker commercial became part of the conversation. What made the moment stand out even more was how smoothly it all unfolded. Drake did not need a long interview. He did not need a dramatic press release, a performance appearance, a strategic public link-up, and a major brand commercial were enough to get everyone talking. Each piece landed in order, and together they created a narrative that people online picked apart almost instantly. Meanwhile, the reaction involving Kendrick Lamar and Future added another twist to the situation. Reports began circulating that Kendrick Lamar allegedly had a strong reaction after learning that Future was involved in a way that changed the entire mood around the story. According to the report, he was said to have damaged studio equipment worth thousands of dollars after hearing the news. If true, that detail would completely raise the stakes. Up to that point, fans had already been treating every move from Drake like a message hidden in plain sight. His appearance with Ben the Don looked like a statement about loyalty.
Give him belt, Drake! Give him belt! Yes, give him belt! Give him belt! Yes, give him.
The viral tweet framed his actions as a warning to anyone who had switched sides. The Nike commercial with Kevin Durant looked to many viewers like a deliberate contrast to his previous connection with LeBron James. Then, with this report about Kendrick Lamar and Future entering the picture, the story suddenly felt even bigger than just one album rollout. Everything started connecting at once. What seemed like separate moments quickly turned into one chain of events. The reactions from other rappers, Drake's carefully timed response, the performance, the commercial, and then the reported fallout involving Kendrick and Future. Each part added another layer, and each new detail gave fans even more reason to believe that none of this was random. At this stage, the biggest takeaway is not just what Drake said or did. it is how he did it. Every move appeared measured. Every appearance seemed to land at the exact right moment. Instead of addressing everything directly, he let the sequence speak for itself. In a situation where every gesture is being watched, that kind of rollout can say more than 1,000 words. Drake's ICEMAN era just took another turn, and this one is hard to ignore. Future has officially stepped back into Drake's corner, especially after joining him again on the Atlanta record Randu.
The elephant in the room, man. This is hating Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. You know Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to like, yo, he one of them type of gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow, and then when you get unsuccessful, he be like, well, at least you tried. You know, at least you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way. Man, if you don't get the out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That nigga said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. The nigga said I'm young forever, and now that he's 70, he's trying to tell other niggas, nah, y'all gotta make music.
What looked like a possible reunion now feels a lot more permanent. Early this morning, Future posted, "Me and ICEMAN backed by popular demand," a message many took as clear confirmation that he's fully aligned with Drake now. That single post said a lot. In a moment where alliances and rap seemed to shift overnight, Future made his position known without leaving much room for doubt. For Drake, that kind of loyalty appears to matter more than ever. A big reason may be the tension surrounding his relationship with J. Cole, which seems to have cooled off in a major way. On Make Them Pay, Drake laid out those emotions in a way that felt personal, reflective, and pointed all at once. He rapped, "I stood 10 toes cause I'd much rather passing than submission. How could you press the ignition and let some memories of the past affect the decision? I love you cause of the history, but if we being real, I can never forgive you, and you never even called me back. But Destiny's written F a big 3 anyway. There was too many chefs in the kitchen. It was a mess to begin with." Those lines didn't sound random. They came across like Drake addressing someone he once respected deeply, someone tied to years of shared history, but also someone he feels let him down when it counted. The mention of never getting a callback makes the frustration feel even more personal. This wasn't just about music. It sounded like disappointment, distance, and unresolved tension wrapped into one verse. Many listeners connected those lyrics directly to J. Cole, especially in the context of Drake's conflict with Kendrick Lamar. From that angle, the message becomes even clearer. Drake seems to be saying that when everything was unfolding, J. Cole chose not to stand beside him. And that decision changed how Drake views the relationship. The Big 3 line is especially revealing. For years, Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar were grouped together as the defining trio of their generation. That label carried weight in hip-hop culture, yet Drake's lyrics suggest he's done with that framing entirely.
Alyssa, what do we have for dinner tonight? What do we have for dinner tonight? Chef Melissa, you see the six out here. You went all out.
Sorrentino. This is an Alaskan king crab with the underneath of
Chef
stracciatella.
Melissa, what do we have for dinner tonight?
Got your artichoke salad.
What's this, Chef Melissa? This was it smells.
If there was once a shared table, he's now flipping it over and walking away from it. What makes this even more fascinating is what happened next. Drake reportedly targeted a specific person with his words in hopes of pulling more of the industry to his side. And according to the reaction, that move may have worked better than expected. Instead of being isolated, he appears to have gained support. That support wasn't kept behind the scenes either. The momentum became strong enough that Drake allegedly reached out directly to people who stood with him, even calling them on FaceTime. That detail adds another layer to the story because it suggests he was actively taking stock of who stayed solid and who didn't. At this point, the picture is becoming clearer. Future is publicly showing loyalty. Drake is making his frustrations known in the music. The fallout with J. Cole appears to be deeper than many first assumed. And behind all of it is a bigger shift in relationships, status, and alliances across the rap world. What started as a song release is now looking like something much larger. It's not just about who appears on a track. It's about who's still standing beside Drake when the pressure rises. Right now, Future seems to have made his choice. Janus has people talking for one big reason. Many listeners think Drake used the record to fire back at everyone who turned on him after the Kendrick Lamar clash. From the moment the track started making rounds, fans began pulling apart the lyrics line by line. A lot of them believe the song is aimed at critics, media voices, and people inside rap who seemed eager to pile on once the feud with Kendrick Lamar exploded. Instead of sounding apologetic, Drake comes across like someone pushing back hard against the noise, calling out the celebration around his struggles, and making it clear he sees exactly who switched sides. What really grabbed attention, though, was the belief that the track may not stop with Kendrick-related fallout. Some listeners are convinced Drake also slipped in subtle shots at Jay-Z, along with older figures in the business he feels have been speaking on him too freely. The tone many fans picked up is simple. If people are using his name for attention, he wants them quiet while he keeps moving forward at the top of the game. That theory picked up even more steam after No Jumper posted about it.
None of that. It's pure. It's pure because I'm always pure. We dropping the biggest anthem tonight. It's called Staying Alive, DJ Khaled featuring Drake and Little Baby. I don't know, man. I go through, man.
Pointing to a lyric that instantly set off debate. On Janice, Drake raps, "Buried alive, someone come dig me up. If I call your shorty right now, then she's picking up. You boys got big off my name, that's big enough. We know how you OGs rockin' already. The jig is up." Those lines quickly became the center of online discussion, especially because Jay-Z is widely seen as one of the major OG figures in the industry. Once fans connected that lyric to the broader conversation around veteran artists, the speculation only grew. To many people, "We know how you OGs rockin' already" didn't sound random, it sounded pointed. It felt like Drake was speaking directly to a certain class of rap elders, suggesting he already understands their position and no longer needs to pretend otherwise. The phrase, "the jig is up," only added more fuel, making the bar feel even more deliberate in the eyes of listeners. Another reason people link the lyric to Jay-Z is the timing. Just days before the ICEMAN album dropped, Jay-Z gave an interview where he spoke about age and authenticity in music. In that conversation, he said, "If you're trying to make young music and you're not young, it's not going to feel authentic, and people can feel that." Because that statement arrived so close to Drake's release, fans immediately started wondering whether Drake heard it as a message aimed in his direction. That's what turned this from regular lyric analysis into something bigger. On one side, you have Jay-Z making a comment about how hard it is for older artists to convincingly make youthful music. On the other, you have Drake releasing a track where he talks about OGs, says people got bigger off his name, and tells those speaking on him to be quiet. Put those moments next to each other, and it's easy to see why so many listeners think there may be a connection.
Of course, none of that confirms anything outright. Drake never directly names Jay-Z in the lyric being discussed, and fan theories in hip-hop often move fast. Still, the reaction shows just how closely people are watching every line right now.
Bars. Damn. 3 albums of trash albums, 2 years too late. What site is this? Complex? The Glazer University. Oh my God. I've been a long fan. Oh my God. Mr. YouTube. The big 3 anyway. There was too many chefs in the kitchen. Bars. Come on, guys. Stop. Y'all gotta, let's all leave Lil Man's alone now, man. He did it. He dropped 3 mid projects. Hey, man, it was fun while it lasted. You're washed.
After the Kendrick Lamar feud, every Drake release is being examined for hidden meaning, coded responses, and any sign of where he stands with the rest of the industry. Whether Janice is really a message to Jay-Z, a broader warning to older rap figures, or simply Drake venting at everyone who has been speaking on his downfall, one thing is obvious. The song got the exact reaction a record like this is built for. It sparked debate, stirred the timeline, and reminded everyone that when Drake feels cornered, he usually answers with a track that keeps people guessing. Jay-Z has long stood as one of the most powerful figures in music, with a level of industry backing that almost nobody can match. Support for him seemed to come from every direction, even from voices like Charleston White. That backing didn't go unnoticed. At one point, Drake reportedly reached out to Charleston White on FaceTime just to thank him personally. Behind the scenes, Drake was also moving in a calculated way. Fans were making videos breaking down what the ICEMAN album was really about, and those clips were being gathered up and sent directly to Jay-Z. That detail alone says a lot. It suggests this wasn't just random online chatter. There was a message being pushed, and it was meant to land where it mattered most. Once the album arrived, though, the tension around Drake taking shots at Jay-Z created an unexpected ripple. One of the strangest responses came from DJ Khaled. Instead of speaking on it directly, Khaled posted an old video of Drake sitting down for dinner at his mansion. On the surface, it looked harmless, even nostalgic. Still, fans quickly started reading between the lines.
There were two obvious ways to interpret that post. One possibility is that Khaled was simply reminding people that there was once real respect and genuine closeness between them. The other reading feels far more loaded. By sharing that clip, he may have been subtly signaling that Drake had once been welcomed into his home, that they had literally shared a meal, and that loyalty was supposed to mean something. That's why the post caught so much attention. It wasn't just an old memory resurfacing at random.
Heard that new BL Drizzy, the diss, the I hold your head up, cut like Rick Ross and hold it up. Himalaya, Anastasia, Fantasia. Cupcake, man, you looking bad. Looking bad, man. You might as well go on Maury Povich and tell your story. Go to Maury Povich.
Timing matters, especially in moments like this. When tensions are already high, even something as simple as a throwback video can feel like a statement without anyone having to say a word. What makes it even more interesting is that this friction may have been building long before the public fully caught on. Prior to the open shots and the bigger fallout, there were already signs that DJ Khaled wasn't exactly pleased with certain Drake lyrics on Make Them Pay. Khaled, that reaction now looks a lot more important in hindsight. It suggests the strain didn't begin with one album or one post. The issues may have been simmering under the surface for a while. By that stage, the feud wasn't subtle anymore. People were dissecting every lyric, every caption, every old clip, trying to connect the dots. One line in particular had everybody talking. You went halal and your people are still waiting for a free Palestine. But apparently everything is in black and white, red and green. I'm seeing everyone's true colors. That bar immediately triggered speculation. Listeners started treating it like a coded message, assuming it was tied to something bigger than just a simple rap line. The reference to colors especially pushed fans into full investigation mode, with many believing Drake was pointing towards alliances, public stances, and hidden motives all at once.
At that point, it wasn't just about music anymore. Every move felt layered. Every post looked intentional. Every lyric seemed designed to make people choose a side. And when that happens around names this big, the story stops being a normal rap disagreement and starts turning into something much larger, where symbolism, timing, and old relationships suddenly matter just as much as the songs themselves. A post started making the rounds online, and it put DJ Khaled directly in the spotlight. In that message, the claim was simple but wild. Khaled had jumped on Instagram Live and talked like he was going to revive Drake's momentum by putting together a collaboration with himself and Lil Baby. That alone raised eyebrows. The idea that Drake needed anyone to save his career was already a bold thing to say publicly. Everything got even more awkward after Drake appeared to take a shot at Khaled on the new album, ICEMAN. Suddenly, those old comments didn't sound like support anymore. They sounded dismissive. To a lot of listeners, it came off like Khaled had framed himself as the one person who could restore Drake's position, and Drake clearly didn't seem to appreciate that narrative. There was another layer to it too. Some people began connecting this fallout to the belief that ICEMAN may mark the last time Drake ever collaborates with Khaled. That possibility only made the situation look more serious. Once fans started revisiting everything that happened during the Kendrick Lamar feud, the tension became easier to understand. Khaled had also been seen by some as leaning toward Kendrick's side during that whole stretch, and that likely did not sit well with Drake either. From Drake's perspective, the issue may not have just been Khaled's name in the conversation. It may have been the way Lil Baby was brought into it as well. Saying Drake's career needed a boost from a Lil Baby feature was always likely to land badly.
Instead of sounding like a compliment, it suggested Drake needed help regaining relevance. For an artist at that level, that kind of public framing was almost guaranteed to cause friction. That idea also feeds into another rumor surrounding the album rollout. According to the chatter, one reason DJ Academics reportedly did not want Lil Baby appearing on the project was because of how loaded that whole situation had become. Once Khaled attached that saving Drake's career angle to a potential feature, it changed how people would hear it. What could have been just another collaboration suddenly carried extra baggage. Khaled eventually responded to the apparent diss, which only kept the conversation alive. Instead of dying down, the drama widened. More media voices stepped in, and before long, Charlamagne the God had his own pointed reaction. His criticism was less about one single line and more about the bigger pattern he thought he was seeing from Drake. Charlamagne's issue was timing. In his view, the Kendrick Lamar battle happened a while ago.
The Iceman and Drake got me up, bruh. Not gonna lie, you got me up. So when I made the intro to my first album about a year and a half ago, Drake was hitting me up around the time and wanted to hear music, a Drake producer. Now the intro still dropped. I said, no, you can't have this song. Till I just went and listened to Iceman, and I listened to Little Birdie, and then I went back and listened to the intro of my first album.
Yet Drake still seemed focused on circling back to people he felt had crossed him during that period. That, to Charlamagne, made the situation feel stuck in the past rather than moving forward. His remarks summed up that frustration in a sharp way. He said he hoped Iceman was not built around that same old conflict, because if it was, then calling Drake Iceman might just mean he is emotionally frozen in that moment. The message was clear: take the loss, leave it behind, and stop reopening the same chapter.
That is really what makes this entire situation stand out. What started as a resurfaced social media comment about Khaled and Lil Baby quickly turned into a much bigger conversation about pride, loyalty, and how long artists hold on to old grievances. Drake's response, Khaled's reaction, Academics' reported stance, and Charlamagne's criticism all point back to the same question. Is Iceman pushing Drake into a new era, or is it pulling him deeper into unfinished business from the Kendrick Lamar fallout? Right now, that is the debate hanging over all of it. And if more names keep getting pulled into the story, this tension may be far from over. Few artists take public setbacks as personally as Drake seems to. That same energy shows up again in what he says about Rick Ross on National Treasures, bringing up another former ally who turned on him during the Kendrick conflict. At its core, National Treasures feels like Drake looking back at loyalty, betrayal, and the pressure that comes when people around you suddenly change positions. The track leans heavily into broken trust, outside criticism, and the difference between those who stayed close and those who chose another side. There's also a clear shot aimed at Rick Ross, whose fallout with Drake became part of the larger Kindred-related drama. The tension between them didn't come out of nowhere. During that stretch, Rick Ross reacted publicly after hearing diss records connected to the Iceman album and jumped on Instagram Live to dismiss Drake's lyrics and questioned where he stood as an artist. That alone made the divide obvious, but what makes the situation more interesting is what happened just before the album arrived.
Only days ahead of the release, Rick Ross was purportedly trying to work his way back into Drake's good graces. That sudden shift made the whole thing look even messier. On one side, there was public criticism and mockery. On the other, there appeared to be an attempt to repair the relationship behind the scenes. That contrast says a lot about how complicated these rap rivalries can get once pride, alliances, and public perception all collide. Even with that reported effort to smooth things over, it's hard to imagine Drake letting it go. A major reason is one of Rick Ross's most personal remarks during the feud. He told Drake to go on Maury and reveal how many women he allegedly has children with, a comment clearly meant to embarrass him in public. More than just a joke, it crossed into family territory, and that kind of line tends to leave a lasting mark. What made that especially sensitive is that Drake's relationship with his son Adonis had already become a constant subject during the Kendrick back and forth. For whatever reason, family kept getting pulled into the conversation, and once that happens, the damage becomes much harder to undo. Diss records are one thing, public comments involving someone's child are something else entirely. Seen from that angle, National Treasure sounds less like a random jab and more like a receipt. Drake appears to be revisiting a moment where he felt abandoned by someone who used to be in his corner.
Soulja Boy, Lotto, Glow. Lotto, you not even getting claimed in public by your baby daddy. Drake, you suing them over dissing the shit at you. Like I thought it was good. I thought it was cool. Y'all write this song back to back. Use a any mother way. Cause you mad cause Kendrick Lamar got on your ass and you want to sit here and applaud Lotto.
Instead of treating it like old news, he frames it as part of a bigger pattern. People benefiting from closeness only to switch up when the pressure rises.
That's why the Rick Ross mention stands out. It isn't just about one insult or one Instagram live session. It represents a wider theme running through the song, where Drake is separating those he still trusts from those he believes folded when things got uncomfortable. Whether listeners agree with his perspective or not, the message is clear. He hasn't forgotten who stood beside him, and he definitely hasn't forgotten who didn't. In the end, the track paints a picture of someone still keeping score, especially when former friends become public critics. For Drake, that fallout with Rick Ross clearly wasn't a small disagreement. In National Treasures, it comes across as another chapter in a story about loyalty breaking down in real time, with grudges that still haven't faded. While the Kendrick Lamar conflict was still dominating headlines, another issue began bubbling up around Drake. This time, the name attached to the backlash was 1900 Rugrat, and he was clearly not happy after hearing Lil Birdie on ICEMAN. According to XXL, the Florida rapper accused Drake of using the foundation of his sound after earlier contact about possibly working together. The situation picked up steam on Sunday when Rugrat took to Instagram shortly after ICEMAN dropped on May 15. His claim was straightforward. Drake's camp had allegedly approached him more than a year earlier to discuss a collaboration, and he says he has receipts to support that. To strengthen his side of the story, Rugrat shared what he said were screenshots of direct messages involving Drizzy. In those messages, the discussion appeared to center around making music together. Rugrat said he sent over 10 different tracks, giving Drake a range of material to choose from. Out of that batch, he claims one specific beat caught Drake's attention more than the others. That track, according to Rugrat, later became the intro to his debut album, Twin. The frustration comes from what happened next. He says Drake never followed through by sending back a verse, even though the conversation seemed to suggest real interest in building something for a future project. Instead, after hearing Lil Birdie on ICEMAN, Rugrat felt the production sounded far too close to the beat he had already used for his own intro. From Rugrat's point of view, the disappointment was not just about similarity. It was also about how the exchange allegedly played out behind the scenes. He posted additional messages that appeared to show Drake telling him he hoped they could create songs together down the line, and maybe even land one on the album. That kind of language naturally gave the impression that a feature or official collaboration might actually happen. None of that, Rugrat says, ever materialized. No verse arrived, no finished collaboration was delivered. What did arrive, in his eyes, was a song on Drake's project that reminded him a little too much of the beat he had already shared. As the accusations spread online, the conversation quickly moved beyond Rugrat's own page. People began reposting the screenshots, debating whether the production really was as close as he claimed. In hip-hop, moments like this tend to escalate fast, especially when a major artist is involved, and there is already tension in the air from other ongoing disputes. The fallout did not stop there. Glorilla's sister, Brorilla, also jumped into the discussion and publicly called out Drake on Instagram. That added another layer to the situation, because as outside voices begin weighing in, the story shifts from a private complaint to a full-blown social media controversy. Soon after, even larger hip-hop media spaces started circling the topic. No Jumper tweeted about the dispute, pushing it further into the public spotlight and making sure even more people saw Rugrat's allegations. At that point, what may have started as one artist venting frustration had turned into another headline attached to Drake's name. Whether people saw Rugrat's post as a legitimate accusation or simply a misunderstood creative overlap, one thing was clear. He wanted his audience to know he believed the similarities were not a coincidence. With screenshots, timelines, and direct claims now out in the open, the issue added yet another dramatic chapter to the non-stop conversation surrounding Drake. Rilla is not holding back. She's putting Glorilla, Lotto, Drake, and Soulja Boy on blast, accusing them of teaming up on a diss track meant for her and then helping push it by showing support all over social media. What started as a simple call-out quickly turned into something much bigger, especially once the internet grabbed onto it and ran wild. At the same time, another moment resurfaced and added even more fuel to the conversation. An older interview with 21 Savage started making the rounds again, and in that clip, he claimed people in the hood were not really listening to Drake. Once that statement came back into public view, fans began connecting dots and building theories around Drake's music moves. According to that line of thinking,
Drake's decision to drop 3 albums across 3 different styles suddenly looked a lot more intentional. The idea being discussed online is that one of those projects, ICEMAN, was specifically designed to create records that would connect more directly with the hood. In other words, some people believe the album was Drake's way of proving a point to someone close to him, showing that he could still make music that hit in those spaces.
That theory only gained more attention because of one particular song from ICEMAN. On that record, Drake appeared to reference Playboi Carti with a pointed line. He says, "Baby boy, please, I heard what you said to Lil Bro about me. Yeah, and when you run into the Iceman, what are you gonna do except freeze? You're not about to squeeze. You're not in the streets." That bar immediately caught listeners' attention. It felt direct, and fans quickly started breaking down every part of it. Playboi Carti has caught himself baby boy, so many people took the lyric as a clear shot in his direction. Once that interpretation spread, reactions followed fast. Social media did what it always does in moments like this. Clips got reposted, opinions flew everywhere, and the speculation intensified. For a lot of people, that line also seemed to answer another question that had been floating around. Fans have been wondering why Carti never appeared on Drake's No Face song. After hearing the Iceman lyric, many started assuming there had been tension behind the scenes for a while. The thinking became simple. Maybe Carti was never on good terms with Drake in the first place, and this was just the first time it became obvious in the music. What makes this situation even more interesting is how all these moments keep connecting back to each other. Rilla's accusations about artists working together, the resurfaced 21 Savage interview, Drake's genre-switching album run, and the line aimed at Playboi Carti all started to feel like pieces of one larger story. None of it exists in isolation anymore. Once fans started placing everything side by side, the drama became a lot harder to ignore. Now the conversation is less about one song and more about the bigger relationships behind the scenes. Who has really been aligned with who? Who has been quietly supporting certain records? And which lyrics were actually warnings hiding in plain sight? Those are the questions keeping people hooked. One thing is clear. This is no longer just about music drops. It's about alliances, subtle shots, and the kind of industry tension that only becomes visible after fans start digging through old interviews, missing features, and carefully worded bars. When all of that gets mixed together, the result is exactly what we're seeing now. A messy, fascinating situation that keeps pulling more names into the spotlight. Here's a twist many people missed. Carti was originally expected to appear on Drake's No Face. In the end, he passed on the feature, saying the lyrics seemed to take aim at people close to him. Still, that explanation has sparked plenty of side-eye. Some believe the real issue was much simpler. He just had no interest in jumping on a track with Drake at all. What looked like a respectful reason quickly turned into a bigger conversation because fans started wondering whether his decision was really about loyalty or if it was a quiet way of distancing himself from the collaboration altogether.